Welcome to Duke's United show, and it's that time again. It's the match preview for Manchester United versus Bournemouth at that Vitality Stadium. That stadium I hate. I do not like this place. Do not like going there. I don't even like watching Man United playing there. I don't know what you feel like, Garth, but it doesn't feel like a good game to watch when they're playing at this stadium.
No, well, I'm moving to Bournemouth in August, so I better, I better tone it down a little bit. No, you want the vitality in it. Like, it's an old stadium, isn't it, man? That's a relic of yesteryear. A bit like Old Trafford, to be fair. The Old Trafford's massive. It's a lovely stadium, but it's old. And yeah, their stadium, like, I don't know. Bournemouth is one of them teams, in it. They're up and down. Their form's up and down. We seem to be up and down against them. Obviously, did they beat us? Well, yeah, they beat us the first game of the season, didn't they? 4. That's Brentford. I'm getting my B's mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
They're up and down.
I remember rightly, we beat them at Old Trafford, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they're up and down. I think it's an easy win, though. If this game didn't mean so much, then I reckon it's an easy win. Obviously, as a pro, does it come in? Does it get more tense for you as a player? Do you start having mistakes happen when you're coming in for the run-in on a title or a cup, or does it enter your game? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yep. You don't play the same. You don't play the same kind of football. It's different. It's pressure time. It's you don't play the same, but it feels like, like if you don't just get a hold of yourself and say, listen, this is a game of football, relax, instead of like it's like rush football, isn't it? It's like you're down 1-0 and you need to win, or you're in a cup game and if you can see the goal, it's a struggle. That's how it feels when you go into the running. You need to win. There's other teams around you. You got to do your thing, but it just has that added feeling of something. And that's why I was this week has been the conversation of people bottling it, or people crumbling, or people falling off, whatever word you want to use. That's what this part is. This part of the season is to see if you can handle the heat in the kitchen. If you can't, no matter how it is, you fall off. However you want to word it, you fall off. We cannot afford to fall off. We deserve, that would be called bottling it. If we can't win it from here and stay in that Champions League spot from the position we were in and from how favourite we were, we bottled it. It's simple as that. Yeah. As simple as that. No matter how it goes, if they score a penalty, it's not a pen, whatever. Because if you think about it, it's Bournemouth. We should be winning 3-4, 5-0, whatever you want to say. If we go and lose 1-0, we haven't scored a goal when we should. Simple.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. It's been mad. Like, we've been really me and all the Arsenal supporters been going at it for not angry, like trying to determine what is falling off, what is crumbling, and what is thingy. We'll talk about that afterwards, because it really is a great debate, Gar.
Yeah, I mean, you know my point of view. I don't think they crumbled. There's a crumble for me is where you don't win a game for 12 games, you know what I mean, and throw it away. Man City were imperious, man. They're too good, Man City. They're a joke. We've got to hope and pray that we can do them in the final, because otherwise they're winning the treble. Because Inter Milan ain't stopping them. Inter Milan ain't stopping them in the Champions League final.
But this is the thing. If Inter Milan beat them, did they crumble or did they not crumble? Because I think they're superior team. They're superior by miles, expected to win.
If Man City, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks in here. Like, so taking away the argument, if Man City lose this Champions League final now, that's a crumble, because they've got all the money in the world, all of the best players in the world, the best manager apparently in the world, and they're coming up against not one of the best teams in Europe. Like, they've made the final in Milan, but let's face it, they're not one of the best teams in Europe. But then again, they dismantled Real Madrid 4-0. So, what do you say, cuz?
Yeah, they smacked.
It's a crumble. It's a crumble if they don't win it, man. That's the pressure getting to them, because they're so desperate to finally win it. You know what I mean?
I said, just the last word on this Arsenal before we talk about it later. Is I said to you, remember when we spoke about it? I said, listen, there's no shame in losing the league to City. That's for sure. They were ahead. They could afford to lose against them and still win the league. And I said, listen, if they go and win the league, and City and Arsenal continue winning games like this, like they've been doing all season, and it's still close, then they haven't bottled it and they haven't crumbled. But if it becomes something like a massive gap, that's a crumble. I don't care what anybody says, and it's become a massive gap. They got a game in hand on them now, and they're 4 points ahead from only 10 games left. And you look at the games that they had, It makes no sense to me. It really makes no sense to me how you can be in that position and you've beaten all them teams. If you was to look at them games and go, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win, okay, you could probably lose against Liverpool, maybe, let's say. You lose against City, but all the rest, they're wins. And, okay, let's give them a draw. But they're losing and drawing, and they had 2 points from 9 from certain few games. We'll look at that later anyway, but
they threw it away with the Southampton 2-2, the Spurs,
and the
was it Spurs 2-2,
and the West Ham,
and the West Ham. Yeah, that's when they threw it away. But yeah, I know where you're coming. Yeah, we'll get into that properly.
Yeah, right. Let's
talk about the biggest club in the world.
Yeah. Man United, it is, guys. Bournemouth at the moment, they're looking in 14th position, so that's where they're at. They've won 2 of the last 5, and surprisingly enough, those 2 wins came against Tottenham and Liverpool, who are sitting in 5th and 7th position. So they are capable of winning the odd game. It's going to be, it could be as tough as we make it. Simple as that. Let's take a look at their last game. What they've done.
They're safe now, ain't they, Bournemouth? They're safe.
They are safe.
So, they're playing for nothing. Yeah, so it's got to be a win, though. Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder why Crystal Palace have beaten them.
Yeah.
And Solanke's top scorer for them. We'll see that in a second, but they still, it looks like every team this season plays the same formation now. 4-2-3-1. Probably try and pop it around. I don't really know too many of their players, to be fair. They're doing all right. They've done all right. They've stayed up. They've done well enough to stay up. And if you look at the other teams in around it, and we'll take a quick look at the league table again. West Ham are underneath them now. And then you got a few other teams that are underneath them. We can't even see that because I haven't even put up the last thing.
No, yeah, you've got Forest, Everton, Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton below them. You know, some big teams below them. So, but with nothing to play for, Nath, they're safe. This is what you're saying. I think you put it perfectly. It's going to be as hard as we make it. It's a great way to put it, man, because we should roll into Bournemouth, slap them about 2-3-0 and go home with 3 points and literally need, I think it'd be, if we do that, we just need 3 points from Chelsea away or Fulham at home, and we've got to be doing it then.
Yeah.
If Liverpool keep winning.
Yeah, the only thing I say is, like we're talking about all this ability to do the job that you're supposed to do. I feel like United, in the position they're in, with the players they've got at their disposal, we should be able to do it, but there's a little thing inside me that says, can you live up to your expectations, Man United, without your Rashford, without your Martinez? Can you do it, Martial, again? Can you do it, Anthony, again? Can we get goals, or are we going to miss chances and they score 1 goal? It's screaming out one of them games that can have that in the lockup, because we're not past the stage yet of being able to beat everybody that we're supposed to beat. And that's the scary part about it. The minute we get to talking like that, we get beat. If you remember, we'll beat them. We'll beat them. And then all of a sudden we lose. It's like, bloody hell, what is going on? So
I agree with you, Tom. We're not quite there yet, mate, as a team. We're not quite there yet, but still, I have to believe that even away, listen, mate, like we said at the start, so if we don't want to fall away and crumble, we've got to be beating teams like Bournemouth. We have to be. Yeah. They've got nothing to play for. They're bottom half of the table as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if we can't beat them tomorrow, we don't deserve full spot. I think that's probably we don't deserve it. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, we don't deserve it if we can't beat a Bournemouth.
Yeah, if we can allow a Liverpool side to have such a bad season, be so far away from us, not even we never even spoke about them for most of the season because they were so bad. We were doing so well. I know we've had the injuries. I know what's happened, but at the end of the day, we've got ourselves into a battle with Liverpool somehow. And they're having a bad season. Makes no sense to me. But look, that shows how tough it is, and how, with 38 games in a season, it's easy enough to come back and recover. So
yeah. I also think that our league position, because of Chelsea faltering, Spurs faltering, Liverpool faltering, is not quite on par with our form. We've lost 9 games this season in the league alone. 9 times we've been beaten in the league, man. You know what I mean? You can't expect Champions League football if you're one game away from double figure losses in the season. Like,
you're right.
Just in the league, you can't. So we're lucky that everyone else has fallen beside us. So I think that's it. Everyone else was doing so badly, we didn't realise that we weren't, like, we were winning with that nice little stretch. We won loads of games, and then it was like 2 games and a defeat. then a draw, then a win, then a defeat, then 2 wins, then a draw. Do you see what I mean? Our form hasn't been spectacular throughout the season. So that's where Liverpool snuck up from. And I mean, what is it? They haven't lost in 9 games now, Liverpool, haven't they? So you're saying you can build a run from nowhere. Look at Man City, mate. They were 8 points behind Arsenal. But I don't want to go back to it, but if you win your games, football's a simple game at the end of the day, isn't it? If you win and keep winning, then
you win the league.
you win the league, mate. So,
my gosh. Yeah. Well, look, let's take a look at what our boys are doing. Currently, we've got, for some reason, Rashford is out because he's ill. He trained all week. Now he's out. McTominay is just starting to train again. Martinez is probably out for the season, and Van der Beek obviously is back in in the physio room or whatever, doing his gym work.
Do you know he was on the field? He's on the field when he was doing light training. Training field work. Rashford, I heard, is a possibility as well, but he won't start. Whatever. He's a bench player at best.
We'll see how he'll feel one day. So hopefully he will have enough in the locker. If he doesn't feel too well, that means he can get on the bench and play 30 minutes, 20 minutes or so if needed. I think he'll probably be on the bench as you just mentioned there. Usually when players are ill, when I've been ill, I've started games and then had to come off because I've not felt great. And I've also, I think I've been on the bench and still, and come on if needed as well. So
that's it. Well, I'm hoping that he's on the bench, Dave, and we don't need him. That Martial and Sancho or Anthony or Bruno have already put us 2-0 up and we ain't got to worry about bringing him on.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, Garth. I was saying, like, it's a blessing in disguise that we don't have him because I don't want us to feel like we need him, like, to win games, like, to score a goal. Like, we can't be a team that needs Rashford to score a goal. Like, we need to be able to handle playing without him. Without any players, we should be able to go, you know what, we're still good enough to still be an outfit to take care of these teams. So, yeah, I think give them boys another chance to go and score again. Martial, get another goal. Anthony, keep playing the way you're playing. Sancho, pick it up because you need to.
Do something.
On the line. Your job is on the line, mate. And if that's true, the rumor, sell to buy, he's going to be one of the first names on that list.
100%.
He's not doing much. He's not doing much. He needs to pick it up seriously.
It's a devastating shame, but there's no 2 ways about it. If Ten Hag's looking at this team, who are my most ineffectual players, Sancho's going to be so far up their list. Like, if not top, considering ability to reward
and how much it work,
application, and how much it work. So
I'd take him. I'd get him out, and I like him. I'd take him out just because he's not been producing. Like, same way I liked Forlan, but I understood why he had to go. If you get what I mean. You could see he had ability, but he just wasn't getting that goal. He just wasn't working for him at United. And then he goes and he bags 20 a season, 20 plus a season in Spain. He was killing it. And everyone knows him as a good striker. So it can happen. But yeah, when you look at it, Garth, you look at our players we have in the squad on the wings, players even out on loan. What's your order of who's the best who's the best? Because at the moment, who's where at the moment ranking?
If we're classing Rashford as a winger, which he's a forward in my book, we're saying he plays on the wing. Yeah, he's a winger. So Rashford number 1, obviously, with his goals contribution far beyond. And then you're getting into, I mean, it's probably Anthony next, but Garnacho could have been there if he'd played enough games. You know what I mean? But you're winning by default after Rashford because none of them have set the world alight, mate. You know what I mean? I can't put Sancho anywhere near there. Anthony's done all right. I expected a lot more from him. Garnacho hasn't really played enough. When he has, he's been exciting. Palestri hasn't done anything. And Diallo, obviously, if you're going to performance, Diallo's actually second because he's been ripping up for Sunderland. But that is Sunderland in the Championship, mate. Exactly. I don't want to, no disrespect. I don't know. But it's Rashford far and away number 1 and then Sancho at the bottom and the rest, you can, what I mean? It's how you want them, the rest of them. I would Anthony second, Garnacho third, Sancho and Palestri in 4th place, however which way you want to do them, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one because I've got Rashford in first. At the moment, I think if you're going to depend on someone to get a goal and win something, I think Anthony is just in line just ahead of Garnacho at the moment.
Yeah.
I put Sancho the last. I think he's behind them all. If Ahmad came back right now, I'd be saying put Garnacho on the left and put Ahmad on the right if these boys are quiet, and I'd expect them to come on and actually do better. So yeah, I think Ahmad next year will be a great addition to the side,
Yeah.
coming in off the bench and doing what Garnacho has done this year, next year, and just being able to play games without any pressure on him to go and kill it, and coming on off the bench and having that kind of ability is top notch, because he's much more efficient than your likes of Anthony. Very efficient with the ball, keeping the ball, very efficient with the decision making. Finishing is much better. His finishing is on point, like hitting the target more often than not. He's got that. So yeah, I just can't wait to see what he does when he comes back, and whether
looking forward to it.
Yeah, playing all them games in England, even though it's not the Prem, but it's still playing in England with very high intensity games.
Oh, tough league, tough league.
Yeah. So he's proper shown that he's one of the best players in the league. So
yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping, is because it was always there. Like when we signed him at 18, 17, he was slight. He was a small, like he was a boy basically. You know what I mean? He was a child. 17 is like. So I'm hoping that half a year in Scotland and a year in the Championship up north with Sunderland, he's going to come back more burly. You know what I'm saying? A bit more. He's 20 now. He's still always going to be tiny, like height-wise, but a bit more robust and ready to take on the Premier League defenders, because they are a different gravy, Premier League defenders. There's no two ways about it.
100%. I totally agree. John Raphael says, hi, guys. Hope you're doing good. We have our chance. The players must be at their best, on their best. Yeah, it's so 100%. True, John. We were just talking about that just now. United really have to be on it to make this an easy game. It's a weird one. You have to put in all the hard work to make it an easy game. Work harder than them and you will. Let's take a look at our results and what we've done anyway. We're sitting 4th in the league and we have 20 wins. That's not bad. And we're in 66 points, 3 points. We've got a game in hand over Newcastle, and we need to win that game anyway, which is tomorrow. And then let's see where we're at. I think if we win this, that's it. I think 2 home games, Chelsea and Fulham, we'll win one of them, and will be no problems. Take a look at the last game. Man United versus Wolves, 2-0, clean sheet again. Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Lindelof, Varane, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. Sancho got his job on the left, Martial and Anthony up front. And guess who's back in the top scorers list? Anthony Martial. It is goal scoring conversion of the best it's been. But again, he's still, he's done well with the finishing side of things. But he got his goal. End of the day, if you get your goal, you can't really say too much. I'm happy about that. And let's just hope he can continue getting goals. Simple as that. So, yeah.
His finishing's let's face it, Martial's finishing has never been in question. It's his application and aptitude that worries everyone. You said it, we've all seen it. Sometimes it just looks like his heart is not on the pitch, you know what I mean? So it's not his goal scoring. We all know he can hit a ball, but probably the best finisher at this club at the moment. One-on-one with a goal, he probably is our best finisher. Even though he hasn't scored that many.
Actually, definitely. It actually is by a mile, I think. So,
So, let's just hope that, the last 3 games, you know what I mean? Because bottom line, it's 8 goals already. He's only got to bag 2 goals in the next 3 games. That's double figures for the season, and that's decent considering what he's played. You know what I mean? We've 30 games, 10 goals, 1 in 3. You can't argue with that for a bit part player, I don't think. So,
how many games has he even started this season? I don't think he's even played.
I'm not even going to start it. I'm just saying, apparently he's had 26 appearances, according to that. You know what I mean? 26,
Yeah, but his still minutes per goal is 161, so
which is decent. Yeah, exactly. Look at Rashford's only on 140.
Look how many shots he's had. 27.
27. He scored 8 goals, mate. You know, this is what I mean. Yeah, hopefully he stays fit, because we need. This is what I said about. This is what I always say about Martial. We need him for the end of the season, even if he goes in the summer. We still need him for these last 4 games with the FA Cup final. We need him to perform. So
I need him sticking around. We need to get a better player in, a top player who's the main man, and let him stick around. If he's going to get me 10 goals without even playing and fully injured most of the season, and like I say, if he can get himself staying fit, he stayed fit. To be honest, he has stayed fit. I don't want to say anything more.
You just jinxed that,
I'm a bit silly there. I should have said that, but yeah, he has been.
Unless Maguire gets on the pitch again and stamps on him, you know what I'm saying? So, quick side note as well. Shout out, he ain't watching, obviously. The Phil Jones, servant to the club, 12 years a Man United player, 200 stomach games, Premier League, FA Cup. Yeah, the last 5 years have been dreadful for him, but he was a good player for us. He was a good player when he first came at 19. I thought we'd signed the next big thing as a centre back. Same as Fergie said. You know what I mean? He looked great at Blackburn. Injuries, man, that does it the best of you. You know what I mean? So,
But to be fair, he did really well when he was here. He was always the first name, as he says. He was the first name on the sheet quite a lot of times throughout the times when he was fully fit and playing. Yeah. And even when he came back from injury for remember that he was so many years out. And then
last season,
we brought him in for that game, and he done very well. He done very well, and I was like, "You better play again." But he couldn't handle playing again. It's like,
he's a lucky king, mate. He's broken. Some club, a Crystal Palace, is going to get a very good player for half a season. Is what like you're going to get a really good player for 25 games a season. So fair play to him. Servant. You know what? The way have you seen how we sent him off though? It was shambolic, mate. They gave him like. You know them things you can get from like souvenir shops, which is like a player's picture and then like signatures down the side and stuff like that. They gave me one of them. Not even a gold watch, for goodness sake. Like, disgraceful.
Nah, disgraceful. I guess if he played the rest of the season, all them other seasons, he might have got something more.
To be fair, I looked through it. It's only like his first 6-7 years at Man United, he had one big injury one season, and the rest of the time he played over 20 games a season. It's just the last 4, man. The last 4 is just being ridiculous. Look at his injury record, man. It is so savage. Savage.
All the season as well. Like not playing at all. No. It's him and Tuanzebe. They ate the same food. I don't know what they've been doing.
Too many kebabs, mate. Too many kebabs.
Oh my days. But anyway,
although apparently that's what Erling Haaland eats, isn't it? Kebab pizza, mate. That's his cheat meal.
He said he eats some madness. What was he saying? He said he eats some mad food. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, he's Norwegian, mate. Yeah, he's Norwegian, bro.
Something nasty that everyone was saying. This is madness. But anyway, talk me through. It's prediction time, and you've gone with your starting lineup, and you just talk me through what you're saying, what you think, what you believe the team's going to be. And what you think is going on. Here we are.
I think there's only one surprise here, Nath, obviously, and that's I've gone with Fred over Eriksen. I think Eriksen looks a little leggy. I think we need some energy in the middle. Fred, everyone who watches this show knows what I think of Fred. I think his passing is atrocious. But I also think when he starts a game, he does a lot better than when he comes off the bench. Like, he can build up. Apart from that, the team picks itself, mate, I think. Some people may put Garnacho straight in. I don't think he's ready for that yet. I think you stick with Sancho and Anthony on the wings. Give Sancho another game. Martial's the only striker we've got because Weghorst is a centre-back, playing as a striker. Defence sorts itself out, don't it? I mean, again, someone might have Dallo in there, but I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka's solidified that spot for me. So, yeah, and I think that team goes out 2-0 winners, mate. And I'm going with a miracle scorer of Jadon Sancho and Anthony Martial.
Lovely jubbly. Your team looks pretty good, to be fair. I'm quite happy. Let's just take another look.
Have you done the same, honestly, because we have not
spoken like that. No, I haven't had the exact same team. You know, we have a little bit of a difference, but we are quite close, to be fair. I'll talk to you about my team. You see, you've got 2-0 victory. You've got Wan-Bissaka playing. You've got Shaw playing. You've thrown Fred in there because you're thinking probably it's going to be a game where they're going to need more legs. I totally understand that. Makes sense to me. Sancho's still playing because we won the game and he started with him, so he usually goes with the starting lineup. Garnacho coming off the bench is much more of an impact player.
Yeah.
So you'd like to see him come off the bench if we're struggling or if we're 0-0. We need a goal. Garnacho comes on. He's just come back from injury as well, so he won't be fully fit to play 90. And it gives Sancho another game to actually prove himself. So makes sense. Makes total sense to me. Let's go with my team then. So I've gone with the hair in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw. I've gone with the same midfield. I think we need to outplay this team. We need to keep the ball, and we need Eriksen in there to be able to do that and be superior in the midfield. I think defensively we're going to be able to handle them with Lindelof and Varane. I think they look very good against Wolves. They handled them very easily, and yeah. Anthony back to his best, playing very good football, made an assist, had some chances, he looked good. Martial was there to lap up that standard tap in, and Sancho, let's see if he can pick something up and do more. I think we can afford to play him in there and let him start, and let's see if he can actually create something for us. I've gone with a 2-0 victory, and I think it's time for Bruno to get another goal. And I think Martial, with the way he is, he'll always be popping up somewhere where he's just going to get another tap in, or he might do something a little something special out of nothing. And I can see him getting a goal as well. So I think we're going to run out victors 2-0. I think that's what's going to happen.
2-0.
Yeah, same.
I think it's going to be 2-0. Yeah, see, I see your team is what I was going with to begin with Eriksen. I don't know. Do you know what? I might start thinking about moving Bruno back there and having Eriksen as the number 10 almost, because Eriksen does not have the legs for 38 games a season doing the central midfield role. He's great, but you're right. Taking out that passing ability and putting in Fred's no passing, it's dangerous. But I just think you need to stretch him in that middle third a little bit more. It gets very with Bruno, Eriksen, and Casemiro. It gets very tight with them three sometimes, and Bruno's usually the only one spreading out, if you know what I mean. So, but no, both teams. Listen, we should beat Bournemouth. Can I just have a quick mention of Victor Lindelof though, who since not being paired with Maguire is becoming the player that we all thought he was, which is a solid 7 out of 10 every week centre back. You know what I mean? He was UEFA Team of the Year the year we bought him. So. Had a great season at Benfica. So getting better.
Totally agree. He's of the level of the Premiership. He can play. He can fill in and play games. He can play as long as he's with someone who's able to lead him. He can play. I've always said, like, you have your main defender and you have your secondary defender, and when he plays with Maguire, they're both secondary defenders, and he's supposed to be a main defender, Maguire, but he's just not. And he's not of the level of the Premiership for me. I just don't see him being able to comfortably play against teams whenever he's called upon to actually defend one-on-one. He can't handle it. And I think Lindelof really can. And he does his job. And it's only when a really good player will come up against him where you'll see him come up short. And that's most defenders. So for me, I never see him making too many stupid mistakes. He does everything correctly. He's a good defender, man. He's a good defender. Good pace. He's not slow. He can get back. He can recover, and he makes the right decisions more often than not. So hats off to him for doing the job. And we don't have to talk about him because he's being that good. If you get what I mean, Garth. Yeah. And you're right. That's what defenders should be. You shouldn't have to really keep speaking about them, because they should just be doing their job. And only when a good piece of play happens, they go and concede. And that's it. That's what's happening at the moment. Clean sheet. So
and I don't expect defenders to never make a mistake. I just don't expect them to make 3 a game. That's all it is. It's solid. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out, Lindelof, because his work's gone unnoticed. And I understand why he's a centre back. It happens, you know what I mean? But he has gone unnoticed that he's been pretty solid for us all season when he's played. So fair play to him.
Here's another question for you then, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks like he's cemented his spot back at right back, and Dallow's not getting back in. I don't know what you think, but it looks like me saying that now, he's going to play tomorrow.
You can't say Dallo will play tomorrow now. I know what you mean, though. I personally think Dallo leaves in the summer. I think the gaffer wants a new right back, and he's got one spot available for Dallo or Wan-Bissaka. And the fact that Wan-Bissaka has been playing most of the games he's available for suggests to me that Ten Hag's decided Wan-Bissaka's the better option. And then Dallo, this is the thing, we need to sell as well. Dallo, you're getting 35, 40 mil for Dallo. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're getting 20, 25 mil for Maguire. So there's already 50 to 60 mil worth of money straight away there before you start talking about any other player on the pitch. You know what I mean? The Sanchos or...
Let's have a show on that, Garth, because we need to have a show next week on players in, players out. Realistically, players in, players out. If we don't even get this takeover, let's just imagine
if it was exactly the same,
and you have to sell to buy, who would you sell and who you're bringing in? Because players are going down as well. Is there any players in them sides that are probably going to go down that could be bought? Are there anyone there that you can go, you know what, I'll take him? Yeah, he'll be a squad player while we need these other
Leicester,
players.
If Leicester go down, they've got some players that are going to be for like having a look at. You know what I mean? All through the team, to be quite honest with you, are some players where you'd be like, oh, I'll have a little sniff around him.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's a good show.
That's a mad one. But before we finish up, I just want to talk you through this crumbling situation because I really have to talk to you about this, Garth. Let's take a look at what the league table was. This was the league table, Garth. With 10 games to go, that was the league table. Just remember, you're 8 points ahead, and you've still got
a game in hand.
Yeah, but that's fine. 7-6, 5 points ahead, and a game in hand. You lose that game, and then you're 4-3, 2 points ahead. Now you're 4 points behind. Take a look at this season now.
I can't. You've done it properly, Nash. You've cut off the top of the table. Man United at the top of the table. That's what I like to see.
There we are.
Yeah, but you've also. This is what I mean about crumbling. Like you look at Arsenal's form. It's draw, loss, win, win, loss. Like it's not 5 losses on the bounce. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah, they threw it away, Nathan. I can't argue with you if you want to call it a crumble. I can't. I don't think it is personally, though. I don't think it is.
Well, I don't know what is when you're that far ahead and you're that far behind. Now,
if it was, let me just put that into perspective. If it was the other way round and it was Man City and Arsenal behind them and Arsenal had done this to Man City, that's a crumble. But Arsenal's squad is paper thin. They were never meant to be anywhere near challenging for the league this season. That's 2 years down the line. No, but that's what I'm saying. Their squad's not built for it. Their squad's not built for this title challenge, man. It just isn't. Like, I just think Man City were better.
Which games there do you think? So which games there then? You look at this. They were top. They were winning. They were playing superior football. They're capable of beating all these sides. Are you saying that they're not supposed to beat a West Ham and a Southampton after being so many 2 goals up against West Ham?
Yeah, that's just one game out of. That's what I'm saying. Like they've had bad results, but that's what I mean. It's not like all the way through the board, is what I'm saying. So yeah, the West Ham game, 2-2 away, London derby. West Ham always up for it. It's the Southampton game in particular that's horrific. 3-1 down, got back to 3-3, and the Brighton game the other day. Clearly, though, Arsenal players thought it was over. You're not losing 3-0 to Brighton otherwise. Like they just lost to Newcastle and they 5-2. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying.
See what you just said. They thought it was over.
They thought that like, they're not getting back. It's just not a crumble to me. It ain't like Newcastle or Arsenal before. Like I know what you're saying. It's not great. You know what I mean? And Arsenal fans, obviously, my mate, or not my mate's Arsenal fans, but I got one in particular, Bert. She's a season ticket holder, and he's been loving life, and I've been hating his messages at the weekend. You know, I
think I'm using the wrong word there. That's what I was saying to Steve before. Maybe that word's a little bit of a harsh word, but it's a fall off. You've fallen off. Yeah. You've fallen away from a title challenge. You're no longer challenging. It's not even going down to the last game of the season anymore. And there was 10 games to go, and you were up there ahead of them. I don't
the way
get
you put that, the way you put that, 10 games to go, 8 points clear. Like I suppose it is a crumble. I said, I know it's a very fine line for me. I know where you're coming from, and trust me, if any Arsenal fans start having a go at me, it'll be a crumble. I just think a crumble is when you completely capitulate. You know what I mean?
Here's a question for you: if City win the league without even having to play this weekend, what the hell is that?
All right, all right. This is what I come to. I cannot argue with you calling it a crumble. I can't. I can see where you're coming from. I can see where other people are coming from entirely. Just for me, it's just shy of a crumble.
Okay, look, it's not just them. We have crumbled. We were 2-0 up. We were 2-0 up against Sevilla. We crumbled. We died. Spurs. One player comes on called Maguire, and we concede goals for fun, and we lose both games. From that point onwards, we crumbled. The De Gea decided to make stupid mistakes and try and dive without his hands and all that. That was a crumble. We were 2-0 up, comfortable, expecting to beat a Sevilla for the first time in how long, and go we're going through to the next round. And next minute we get battered. And that was a batteration. It wasn't just like we played well and lost.
Was that the one with De Gea come out? That is the one with De Gea come out, isn't it? Which, awful game. Yeah. Awful game. But it's 2 different things. Again, if we make listen, I'll give you this much now. If we make top 4, and Carabao Cup, we've had a much better season than Arsenal. Much
Thank
better.
you. Right, at
Like,
least that's agreed.
That's a
because
different
that's fair.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different question. Like, because you've made Arsenal made Champions League, and we've made Champions League, and we've got a trophy, so we've had a better season. I'm sorry, like there's no two ways around it. I know Arsenal fans want to be like, oh, but we're top of the league. That means nothing to anyone, mate. You finish second.
You know what?
You finish. There's no difference between second and fourth in my mind, mate. There never is.
That gives me a thought there, because you know when teams in the Championship go into playoffs, there's first and second go up, third, fourth, fifth, sixth go into playoffs. Third don't say, oh, we had a better season than the playoff team that won. They don't. Even if they came sixth and won the playoffs, they won the playoffs. They had a better season than the team that came third. It doesn't matter where you came in the league if you don't get nothing for it. No. So end of the day,
well, no, what you get is Champions League qualification, which we got as well. That's what I'm saying. We both finished in exactly the same place. Yeah, you beat us by 12 points or whatever, but it means nothing. When 3 years down the line, it'll both be that we both made Champions League and we won the Carabao Cup, possibly an FA Cup. I doubt it, but possibly.
One thing I will say though, to even it up, to make it very real, because I'm not just trying to say this to bash on Arsenal. Arsenal are a better side than us. They're better football than us. And
better footballing side,
much better football than us. Yeah, they are better side than us. They're playing much better than us this season, and they've had a better Premiership season than us in the Premiership. Their football and their consistency in the Prem has definitely been better than us by miles. So they're way ahead of us in that. We're not even in a title race. So that goes to show how far they are ahead of us. So yeah, I will give them that as well. So I'm not trying to just be bashing on them, and I know it might feel like that. But the reality is I'll say when we're falling off, I'll say when they've fallen off. I'll say when they crumbled, when we've crumbled. I'll say when everybody crumbles. I'm just being real. They crumbled. Simple as that. If they lost by 3 points even, they lost the league and they lost it by 3 points and it went down to last game, I'll say, you know what, that's not a crumble. City are just better. But they've fallen away far too far away from City now to call it was just a title challenge and they're this and that. Nah. It's not enough. You can't be allowed to let them get so many points on you with that little amount of games left. No. Simple as that.
It is fair. No, it's fair. The way you put it, Dave, I'm not really I think I'm trying to be nice because I know what it's like to lose the title. So maybe I'm just being too generous because the way you put it, you're right. 8 points clear, 10 games to go. All right, Man City going down, so 5 points clear that's not great. It really ain't great. It is a crumble. I just don't see it as like it's not.
I know. It ain't a crumble like the other crumbles. It ain't like
that. No, it ain't like that.
Because they have played well in them games.
Yeah.
They have scored goals. They have come back from being down and out and got a draw when they shouldn't have even got that. So I agree with that. They have played good football. But at the end of the day, that form and the way they've played compared to conceding not many, scoring 3 and 4 and 5, whatever, week in, week out, to now drawing and then making mistakes. That's what the pressure cooker's all about. Drawing, making mistakes and not winning games you're supposed to win is what happens. You're not supposed to go, oh, bang, bang, you lose. That's never going to happen. They play too good football to be losing every week. But the point is, the results have changed. And simple as that. It's because you're at the end of this season where every result feels like it matters most than the beginning of the season when they all matter the same. They all get 3 points. Difference is it's coming to crunch time. Mindset, mentality, can you handle it?
And they definitely couldn't. That's what I mean. That's where it comes from me. Like it's not like Arsenal or Newcastle when they crumbled for us. It's just different. But the mentality weren't there. And I tell you what, they've got a very, very interesting summer coming up as well. Because Saka's contract's up, isn't he? I know they've got a verbal agreement with him, but Saliba's contract's up next year, and he don't look like he wants to sign a new contract at all. Really? So from what I'm hearing, from what I've been told, I don't like Steve would be the better person to ask about this, obviously. But I'm pretty sure Saliba's only got 12 months on his contract after this year, and I think Saka's got 2 years.
Yeah, I think the tough thing for them is they're going to be fighting on all fronts next year. Everyone's going to treat them as the top dogs next year, so they're going to get up for the game massively. They're going to treat that like a cup final. Every game is going to feel like a cup final, and that's different pressure in itself. The players are going to be expected to be producing every week, to be superior than other teams. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. I think they'll be able to do well, but I just think fighting on all fronts ain't the same. You need a squad for
No,
that. And let's see
and
if
they
they
haven't
can
got it.
handle that. Yeah.
They haven't got it. No. This is what I'm saying about it'll be interesting. Oh, it's next. Saka and Saliba's contract are up in 2024. So it's what I mean. They've got to get those contracts tied down in the summer before they even start thinking about what they're bringing in. And like, it's going to be same for us. We're in the same boat as Arsenal. It's going to be a very interesting summer because we're at a stage where we need more players and better players that can handle Ten Hag's system. So it's going to be very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. And next year, obviously, Liverpool and Chelsea will be back. I would have thought Chelsea definitely with Poch.
I'll see what happens there. They need a lot of merry-go-round there. And you know, there's one player that I've been saying from before. Remember I mentioned Kovacic and you lot don't like him. I think he's a younger kind of Eriksen replacement type player. I think he's a player who can put the ball around. I like him. I've always said I've liked him. No one's really agreed with me, but if he comes, I like him. I like the type of player he is. He's press resistant and he keeps the ball. He's not going to score goals. He's just going to be a player who plays in the team that doesn't get pressed and lose the ball.
That's why I see him more as a Casemiro. From what I've read now, I see him more as a Casemiro, like a deep role player, to be quite honest with you. Or Eriksen, central midfielder. I like him a lot more since I did there was an article about him because apparently Man United are very interested.
I like him. And they got to get rid of loads of players. They got to get rid of loads of players.
12 mil is what I'm hearing. 12 mil for Kovacic is absolute steal, yeah. 28 years old. Him and Sabitzer, because apparently Sabitzer's 18 mil. You get them two in for 40 mil for the pair of them.
30 mil for the pair of them. Did you hear what he said today?
No, what's he said?
Ten Hag is like, obviously he's not going to be fit for the rest of the season. You're looking to get him in next season. He says it all depends, and we're not thinking about that right now. We're thinking about the end of the season. So when you say it like that, it sounds like
if it's true that he's going for between 15 and 18 mil, I think it'd be ridiculous for Man United not to take him. I know that Ten Hag wants Rabiot, don't he? He wants him bad. He wants that, he wants him bad. So he would be on a free, can't grumble with that.
He'll be the Casemiro, wouldn't he? He'll be the Casemiro replacement. And then we'll see the rest. I think that's what.
And then Kovacic, listen, if we get Rabiot and Kovacic, that's not long-term thinking, but it's great for a few years. That's two quality ball-playing footballers.
Until we can find the right players to go and kill it, like De Jong another year down the line. Is he gonna be too old? I don't know. But
we bring a youngster through like this Kobe Manu or someone who I'm not saying he will, but who absolutely lights it up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, anyway, look, the game's tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff, Vitality Stadium. Man United to go and win this and wrap this Champions League spot up. Let's get rid of all this nonsense and let's go into the last game of the season at least without having to worry about Champions League.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Garth. Thanks for coming. Thanks everyone for going.
Pleasure as always.
Comments. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the match reaction tomorrow at around about 5:15?
5, yeah. After 5.
Yeah, after the game. Peace out.